following is general advice only and should not be construed as accounting, legal, or any other professional advice. The details of your situation are fact dependent, and you are advised to seek the help of a competent professional. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another action-packed edition of CPA Reviewed, the official podcast of Another71.com. As always, I am your humble host, Jeff Elliott, a licensed CPA in the state of Kansas. Happy Tuesday to you. Today is Tuesday, September 17th, 2013. Okay, we are going back to our live edition of the show. So basically, I hosted... I intended for it to be like a 1 hour call-in, but the calls were stacked up. So the show actually ends up being like over 2.5 hours long. So if you want to listen to the show in chunks, you can do that, or you can listen to it all the way through. But I figure if people take the time to call and listen in and wait, then I can certainly extend the show. So it just turned into a 2.5 hour show. It was a lot of fun. It's actually one of my favorite things to do with Another 71 is to help people in whatever way I can. So with that said, let's get started. All of these people called in to the Ninja Hotline. So you can watch for the Ninja Hotline. If you're on my mailing list, I will send out an email when the Ninja Hotline is fired up. You can go to Another71.com. You can click Study Plan, and you'll get signed up for the mailing list. You'll get your free study planner, free sets of Ninja notes, and you'll be on the list. So just like yesterday, I wasn't even planning on doing it. I just said, hey, short notice, I'm firing up the Ninja Hotline. Call in if you have a question. Of course, you can like the Ninjas on Facebook. We're approaching 26,000 likes on Facebook. So I also send out messages on the forum and on Facebook and on Twitter. So I will hopefully talk to you in the next, or whenever we fire up the Ninja Hotline again. So let's get started.
This is Martha. I'm calling from Washington, D.C.
Martha, I think we've spoken before.
Yes, yeah, we did.
I recognize your voice. How are you?
Oh, that's good. And I didn't make it. Oh, my goodness. I am so sad right now. Yeah, I took regulation. This is my second time. I'm going to retake it again, like a third time. I did not make it.
How did you do?
The first one I have 68. The other one I have
Entry
69.
and exit chimes are off.
I'm sorry, could you say that again? I was having more
I
time.
said the first time I have 68. The other time I have 69.
Okay, you took reg on the 27th of August, is that right?
Correct.
Okay, and you're using the Wiley book and the Wiley test bank?
Yes, then I did your audio and the flashcard.
Okay. So you scored a 68 the first time, 69 the second time?
Yeah, and I noticed my difficulty was the same.
Okay. Walk me through your study process, if you will.
I'm going through your 4 hours and 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour lunchtime, and 2 hours in the evening for 6 weeks. That's what I've been using for the 2 times that I've taken it. So I don't know if that's working.
Well, are you reading through the whole Wiley book?
I have the Jaeger lecture.
Okay, yeah.
So I've watched the lecture like a week or 2. I watch all the videos, like what you say. After that, I start reading and doing the flashcard and the multiple choice, the test bank.
Okay, what are you doing while you're watching the videos?
I'm making notes. I'll make notes on while I'm watching the videos.
Okay. Would you? Let's say that there's 1,000 questions on the Wiley test bank. How many questions do you think you did?
I did everything twice.
Oh, you did all questions twice?
Yep, I did. I go over the test bank twice.
Do you think that there's just a few areas that you're really weak on that you're not hitting hard enough?
I think, yeah, because I didn't do good. I didn't pass. But one thing I think I didn't do my best was the simulation. It was the hardest thing I've seen in my life.
Okay. Okay, so when I took regulation, I scored back-to-back 74s because I pretty much refused to study 1231, 1245, 1250, like-kind exchanges, and AMT. I just hated them. I refused to study them.
Yeah,
and I scored.
That is true.
Yeah. So
go ahead.
And so once I just decided that I had to do it, then I scored a 92. What is your area that you hate that you refuse to study?
That is 1. 2 is depreciation.
I'm sorry, say that again?
The one that you just said, 1231, 1245, that is 1, the like kind, and the other one is depreciation. I thought I knew depreciation, but I don't.
Okay, you mean just as far as how to calculate it?
Yeah, I thought I knew it, but I don't think I did good in the exam.
Okay. How are you on, okay, do you find yourself focusing more on tax and not so much on business law?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So would you say that you're not putting as much effort into business law as you are tax?
Well, the interesting part, the first exam, I spent so much time on the law part and less time on tax. This time I spent so much time on the tax and less time on law.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the exam doesn't work that way. So, like, you can't spend a ton of time on tax, or on law the first time, and then the second time spend a lot of your time on tax, and think that the amount of time that you spent on law will carry over into your second exam, because it doesn't. Even when people score like a 74, you're not 1 point away. You're not like a cram away. You need to go back, do exactly what you did before, and then do some more, add more material, study harder, etc. So, it sounds like you're doing the right things. You're watching the videos, you're taking notes, you're doing. Most people, the problem is they're not doing enough multiple choice questions, but that's not your problem. So I think what you have to do is you have to do exactly what you did this last time with tax, and then obviously brush up on the 1231, 1245, etc. But you have to hit the law and the ethics part just as hard this time.
Okay. So you don't think I have to add any materials, because I don't know where to start anymore.
Okay. You have the Jaeger home study?
Yes.
Okay. Go through those videos again, and I know you took notes. I would take notes again, just for the sheer fact that it'll cause you to pay more attention. Like, if you already have your notes out and you have the video going, you're gonna have other tabs open, watching, looking at Facebook or something. And you said you have the Wiley Test Bank. Did you work the questions in the Wiley book?
Yeah. That's what I depend on for my simulation, because I did the one in the test bank, but because I did it like this is the second time, I pretty much know it off it. So I did the one on the test book.
And you said that you already have the Ninja audio?
I'm sorry?
Did you say that you already have the Ninja audio?
Yes, I have the Ninja audio, yes.
Do you have the Ninja notes?
Yes.
You do? Okay.
And I have your flashcard.
Okay. You have everything you need to pass. You just need to you need to spend you need to spend as much time on business law as you do on tax.
Okay.
And instead of 6 weeks, maybe bump it out into 7. Yes.
Because I haven't.
Go ahead.
I've not registered yet. I'm planning to do it maybe November 9th. You think that's okay for from now to November 9th?
Yeah, so it's mid-September now to mid-October. Yeah, that sounds great. And plus, it's before Thanksgiving, and that sounds...
Yes, that's what I want to do it before Thanksgiving, because after Thanksgiving, I don't think it's working.
No. Yep, that's what I would do. And if you need some motivation or some strategy help, shoot me an email or something. Okay, Martha?
Perfect. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
Bye. Area code 302. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good. Who am I speaking with?
I'm Miru here.
I'm sorry. What's your name again?
Miru. M-I-R-U, Miru.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, it's getting kind of cool here in Kansas. It was 100 degrees like a week ago. So.
Oh, okay. It's getting down here actually. Actually, I wrote my exam. I did my studies in India basically, so I didn't do any studies here. I started my CPA studying probably last November, and I gave my exam in January. I mean, my FAR. I gave my FAR first, and I scored like 53. So I know that I didn't do good preparation once I saw the questions and everything. Then I met a friend, and I learned how to study and everything. Then I gave my exam again in May. I failed with 73.
Okay.
Then again I gave my exam in September. Again I failed with 70. So I really don't know where I'm lacking, or the CPA is not working for me, I have to do something else. I really don't know. So what will be your suggestion now?
What did you do different from your 53 to 73 as far as preparation wise?
Oh, that's completely different. For the 53, I didn't really take it serious, because in India, they will give me a book where my exam questions will be only out of those books. Those books contains the 5 years previous year question papers. So I know one of the question is going to, so I just memorize and write the exam. So I thought this exam will also be the same way. And I didn't really gain that much knowledge about the CPA. After coming to this many forums, then I came to know how hard it is. Then I really put so much effort. I started studying 6 hours per week, and I started digging why is like this. This question is like this. What will be the answer if it is the other way? I started thinking the other way. So that's why I think I scored 73.
Did you say that you were studying 6 hours per week?
Per day.
Oh, per day. Okay, good. And did you do anything different from your 73 to your 70?
I didn't really do anything like what I did between 55 and 73. Yeah. I really concentrated on which places I was weak. And basically, I'm weak in the basic concepts and the special events. I couldn't really understand about this consolidation and combinations. That's where I'm weak. I really know about it. And once I see the question, I totally get confused. I don't know why it happens to me. So if there is any unwanted things in the question, so I get confused whether I have to include it or exclude it, or really have to take it like that. But if the question is really straightforward, I hit it very correctly. That was my problem is. So I don't know how to overcome that.
This time around, do you have your exam scheduled again?
No, I didn't schedule it again. So now my target is let me score. I have Becker, so I'm planning to score about 90 in all the MCQs and simulations. Then I'm going to try the exam.
Okay.
But it's overwhelming to sit and do all the MCQs again and again.
Yeah.
Till I score 90. It's really, really, really frustrating for me.
Well, if you score a 90, it might not be because you know the material. It might be because you've seen the questions so many times you're starting to memorize them.
Yeah, that's true.
So I wouldn't shoot for a benchmark of 90. If I were you, I would set a date so that you have a target to aim for. I think that you need to do exactly what you did when you scored that 73, because when you took it in September, my guess is that you thought, okay, I'm pretty close. I just need to hit some weak areas. I'll go in and pass. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Yeah. You have to
In
do
August. Yeah.
So you put in a tremendous amount of effort to score that 73.
I did.
I want you to replicate what you did there, but you know that you have some weak areas like consolidations. So do everything that you did, but then let's say that you're weak in consolidations, bond amortizations, and not-for-profit accounting, say. Well, so do everything that you did to score that 73, plus really hit hard those weaker areas. Okay. Do you have the ninja notes?
What is that?
Do you have the ninja notes?
No, I don't have it.
Okay. Shoot me an email after your once you get off, and I will send you my FAR ninja notes, and you can add those to your study prep because I want you to pass. But so what happens when people get really close? They think that they're just a few points away, a few weak spots away, but you have to replicate exactly what you did before, and then add new materials or study intensively on some weak areas and a mix of both. So that's what I want you to do, and I want you to go schedule your exam today.
Okay, so do you want me to schedule in October or November?
November. Martha was just on the line, and she just got a failing score on REG. She scheduled her exam November 9th, which I thought was good because that's 6 weeks, 7 weeks. You might schedule yours maybe a week later since FAR takes a little bit more time to prepare for, but do it before Thanksgiving.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'll schedule that.
Okay, and be sure to email me, and I'll send you those ninja notes, okay?
Sure. And do you want me to try all the MCQs in the software? Because I'm like, do you want to just go through me on the weaker areas now, or do you want me to try all the MCQs in the software again?
You have to do them all again.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Do you feel like that you see this will be your fourth time? Do you feel like you've seen them enough times that that you're picking answers just because you know what the answer is?
No, I didn't memorize anything because when I saw the questions, everything was pretty much new.
Okay.
Just I can recognize the theory questions. What I mean, like if there is no numbers, that's what I call is a theory question. So those questions I have memorized. I can see that. Like what is the forms will be used for the quarterly filing, like that.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't memorize any like numbers or anything.
If you want to pick up some pretty affordable extra study questions, I sell them on my site. You can pick those up.
Okay.
If you just want a fresh look at some different questions. That, I mean, not to sell you more stuff, but it might behoove you to do that.
Okay, I can see that.
So, well, shoot me an email, jeff@another71.com, and I'll shoot you those ninja notes.
Sure, I'll do that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you for calling in.
Yep. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Area code 404, how are you?
Oh, hi. How are you?
Good. And if you hold on one second, area code 408 and 405, you are next up. So who am I speaking with?
Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi, Jeff. That was pretty interesting feedback. So let me ask you before I dive into my question, why do you recommend taking the test before Thanksgiving?
Well, because just realistically, people, heading into Thanksgiving week, so maybe they take off work on Tuesday, they go see family or whatever.
Oh.
Thanksgiving rolls around, then you got Black Friday, and then, I'll just wait till Monday, then Monday doesn't happen, and pretty much you kill an entire week.
Okay. Well, here's my question. I've taken audit, and I've taken it twice. The first time I scored a 56. The second time I scored a 63. So I'm improving, but I feel like I need to add some more materials because I'm going to take it again. I'm taking financial now while I'm studying for financial, but I'm not as confident about testing for financial since I've had a couple of failures on this journey. I scored a 72 in BEC, and I know it's common, but I guess I'm just missing something somewhere.
Okay, so you're taking FAR right now?
Well, I'm taking a prep class for FAR right now.
Right.
I use Becker, so I'm taking the prep class for that.
Okay.
And my plan was to, because in between all of this, I'm having surgery, so I'll be, out probably for about a week, where I won't be able to study. And so I was thinking about taking FAR like the end of October, because I want to make sure that I have enough time.
Sure.
Because I know it's really tough. But, again, I am a little discouraged.
Sure.
But trying to stay on this journey because it's a marathon.
Yeah, well, it's always important to get that. That first victory tells you, okay, I really am smart enough to pass this exam. So, yeah, as a matter of fact, when I passed FAR, I was so excited I took an entire year off. So I partied for an entire year. So.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, well, that's not a recommended course of action because I ended up losing my FAR credit. So.
Right.
But yeah, so do as I say, not as I did. Okay. How far along are you in your FAR prep?
We are in chapter 7, but I'm probably only in chapter 5, which is pensions. So I think we're moving more towards, it's governmental accounting.
Okay, so are you about halfway through the material?
Yeah, probably about halfway.
Okay. Well, I think an end of October exam is reasonable. What did you do?
I know it's tough because I took BEC and I made a 72, but as you can see from my audit scores, I haven't been able to get back into that range again.
Well, effort-wise, was there a difference between what you did on audit and BEC? Did you study more, study harder, or is it just no?
I studied more for BEC.
Okay.
Audit, the second time around, I thought I really, put forth more effort, but there were a few simulations that I felt probably, I probably was weak on. So I'm just not sure. So I guess I'm wondering if I add supplemental materials, what would be the best supplemental materials to add? And just how do you crack this whip and succeed at this?
Well, do you have an established study plan? So like Sunday night, do you sit down and map out what you're pull your calendar off the wall, so to speak, and map out how you're going to study? Like budget your study time for the week? Do you do that?
I don't write it down. I probably do it mentally. Like I know after work, okay, I'll go to the library for maybe 4 hours. So I don't actually write it down, not consistently.
Okay, I guess my question is, do you plan out ahead of time what you're going to do and then go and do it? Or does it just occur to you, hey, I should study right now, and then do you study?
No, I plan it out.
Okay. And on average, how many hours a week are you putting in?
I'm falling a little short right now. I'm probably like 15 a week right now.
Okay. Well, we need to bump that up to 20.
Okay.
20 to 25. If you get up maybe 45 minutes earlier to an hour earlier, if you have an hour lunch break, eat for 15 minutes and study for 45. Anyway, it's just if you I have my Ninja Study Planner that's free on my website. Do you have that?
No.
Okay. If you go to another71.com and just click at the top study plan and then just enter your info, it'll come to you. But it's an Excel spreadsheet to where it says, okay, how many hours am I going to study in the morning, at lunch, and at night? It just helps you to map out your week and
okay.
for that magical goal of 20 to 25 hours. Now you're going to a live class, is that right?
I'm going to a live class. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you find that's efficient, or would it be more efficient for you to have your own self-study videos?
I think, this is my personal opinion, after I've gone through the class like maybe once or twice, if the material has changed, I'm more efficient at self-studying because that's how I was able to get the 72 in BEC. The first time, it was my first CPA exam, and I didn't score. Well, I scored in the 50s. And then the second time, I scored a 72, but I did self-study. I didn't go back to the class again. So I guess it's a hybrid method for me.
I mean, do they actually lecture live, or are they just hitting go on a video?
No, they lecture live.
Oh, do they? Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, if the in-class method is working for you, then stick with it. Otherwise, I would not do that. I'd get your videos or whatever. But my question was, when you're watching your videos, are you taking notes, or are you just doing the highlighting and underlining stuff?
The highlighting and the underlining. I'm probably not taking notes when I watch the videos.
Okay. When it comes time to do review, are you honestly going to go back and look at all the highlighting and underlining?
No.
Okay. So it's kind of pointless, huh?
Yeah, you could look at it that way. Uh-huh.
If you take notes, instead of doing the highlighting and underlining all that stuff, if you take notes, like I was just at Staples or whatever the other day, or an Office Depot, whatever it was, and you can get like some big fat legal pads for like $10, and they're thick. Just start writing furiously, and when you're all done with your videos, then you do your multiple choice questions.
Mm-hmm.
And take notes as you do those too. And then when you're all done with that, then you have this big fat stack of legal pads of notes. Then you rewrite the notes. So you're putting it in your own voice, and it's like you're reabsorbing the material. And that's a lot more effective. And there's been studies that have done that writing notes is a lot better than painting pretty fluorescent colors on a page. And the material will mean a lot more to you. I have yet to hear from someone who rewrote their notes and regretted doing it. I mean, it's a pain. I mean, it is work, but it pays off. That's what I would do.
Okay.
Now, as far as getting supplementary materials, of course, I'm biased. I sell supplementary materials, etc. But I think you need to decide if they'll be beneficial to you. When you get that study planner, you'll also get like free demos. Mm-hmm. You'll get free demos of all my 10-point combos, like free audio, notes, flashcards, and all that. You'll get like a free chapter of each of those. You can decide if you want to invest in that. If you do get those, what those will do is they will allow you to study when you couldn't otherwise fire up a video or be at class because of the audios and the notes and et cetera, et cetera. But you can check those out.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Thank you for calling in, Tanya.
Okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Area code 408.
Yes, this is May.
Hi, May.
Hi. I took BEC last month, and I got 63. And that was my first exam.
Okay.
I thought I studied good, although I walked out. I felt that I did well, but it turned out to be 63. So I'm a little, my confidence is not as good. Now I'm studying for my FAR, which scheduled in October, end of October. I have recently changed my studying habit. I use Becker. I follow the study plan. I changed. I'm starting to write my own flashcard,
Okay.
which helped me kind of stick in my head. Although the Becker homework is very hard, so it takes me a lot of time.
Why do you say that it's hard? Is it hard because you're not conceptually understanding it, or why do you say it's hard?
It took me a long time. So, for example, I watched the video, and I highlight, and I try to write down some sign notes as they instructed, as well as my own note as I understand it. I must have to admit that I didn't have time to go back to the chapter and reabsorb what I learned. But at the time, I felt like, okay, I understand the lecture. And then I move on and do the homework. And depending on the subject, more so that I feel like it take me a long time to do homework. For just study planner. So, for example, for the FAR exam, I have a study plan for like 6 weeks, and each week is about two chapters, but I barely make it for 2 chapters. I would have 1 day to watch the video. 1 day means 8 hours to watch the video, even though they say the video is only lasts 4 hours, but it never lasts 4 hours for me. And then when I thought that I'm ready to do the homework, it takes me 2 days to do 1 module. So F1, let's say F1 is 2 days. So, and I'm very exhausted each time when one section. So I feel like maybe I'm just stupid. I just don't, understand the question enough to do the math or apply the concept. So I don't know what to do. Sometimes I feel like I wanted to be more efficient, so I start writing flashcards as I go through the lecture.
Yeah.
And then after I finish each question, if I make mistakes, especially when I make mistakes, I go back to that flashcard and try to understand why I made that mistake. But I honestly go back sometimes, like after that, they say, you have a choice to go back to the mark question. So I go back to the mark question. I still there are some I understand, but there are some I still what is it? I just don't get it. So
okay,
I don't know.
When you're working your multiple choice questions, are you approaching it from the standpoint that you're in learning mode, or are you kind of uptight about it and act like you're in exam mode and feel like you have to get it perfect?
Oh, that's a good point. I'm really stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't do well on BEC.
Sure.
I thought I prepare well as I described. I give many hours per week. But I think you're right. I'm very stressed, so I feel like I'm not holding the information.
Sure.
So I feel like, okay, information just blast at me like a lot, and just like, okay, I get it. I'll do the work. But when I sit on the like doing the homework, I don't know whether I should be the study mode and say, okay, I view it as just homework. Even if I select the wrong answer, I need to know what I have done wrong or what concept I didn't understand.
Okay, I think I need to free you and give you the freedom just to click around on answers. Okay, the only set of multiple choice questions that count are the ones on exam day. And even on exam day, if you get too tense and stressed and micromanage your questions, you're going to fail because you have to work quickly through the material. And so you can't be obsessive compulsive. I know exactly what you're talking about because I used to do the same thing. If I'd be in my first testlet and I'd be on question 3 and I can't get the math to work out, and I'd freak out and I'd sit there spending 6 minutes trying to get it to work out, and all of a sudden, and all that time I'm shortening my time on simulations down the road because I'm just not being a good test taker. What I want you to do is, first of all, when you're watching your videos, just get out a legal pad, or it sounds like you like flashcards, but maybe get out a legal pad and just start writing. And you're not going to get through the material if you don't just kind of let go a little bit and just absorb what you can absorb, and what you can't right away, you'll get later on as you work more multiple choice questions. But so let's say you work your questions in the first chapter, and first of all, just from a motivational standpoint, there's a significant motivational factor to getting through all of the videos and then going back and working through the questions. Some people aren't comfortable doing that, but you might try that because you watch the videos in the first chapter, and then you work the questions in the first chapter, and then you get bogged down, and it's taking you a week, and then the next morning you get up to study, and you're like, oh, yesterday was terrible. I'm so behind. I just don't think I'm going to study today. Whereas if you're like getting through the videos, taking notes, getting through the material as quickly as you can, doing what you can, scratch that off the list, then do the multiple choice questions and take notes over those, scratch that off the list, then rewrite your notes into your own voice. Now, what you're doing on the multiple choice questions is you're getting bogged down and you're getting uptight. What I would do, so let's say you're going to work questions over bonds. I would pick a set of 30 random questions over bonds, read the answer, click around on the answers, and read the answer explanations, and don't even do it. Just treat it like you're learning the material, and then do another set of 20 or 30 like you would if you're actually trying. But then that way you kind of see how they act. So you learn bonds, but it's one thing to learn the bond concepts. It's another thing to read CPA exam questions and see how they test you on those concepts. So maybe just free yourself of that burden by doing 20 to 30 just clicking around, and then do it for real. And how does that sound to you?
Yeah, I think I wasted a lot of time to get it right, and I think so. I feel a little bit better that I start rewriting my own flashcards.
Yeah.
Because rewriting the flashcard just helped me, in my own words, understand the material. So I actually see that my homework is a little bit better when I started to write my flashcard. But I'm trying to get one exam at a time. So even though I got 63 from BEC, and which I am going to schedule to take in November, I try to, in my head, focus on FAR right now. So I'm going to take your advice, even though, this is the Monday, 16, and my schedule won't be until 25th. I still have time, but last time when I did the BEC, I didn't have time to really do the review for the last, like Becker recommend. So maybe I would switch, like you said, when I do the homework, I would just go ahead and click it. Just click it and read through the material, a little bit better. Although my thinking is I try to attempt the answer, when I do the homework. That's why it takes me a little bit longer. So I'm trying to search for how to do it. And obviously, I'm not really good. So that's why it took me a long time.
Okay, well, for the next week, I want you to try my approach and see how that helps. And then you can email me or call me back next week and tell me how you did, okay?
Yeah, and one more question. So if I still have questions about the material, is there any place I can ask questions?
Sure.
I use self-study, thinking that, I just finished a accounting program. So I just thought that I could, if I still don't understand from the book, where can I go?
There's actually quite a few people in the forum who do just that. They don't understand a question, so they'll post a question in the forum. Are you registered in the forum?
I think one time I did, and before I move on to, I got the folder, compressed folder. So should I go ahead and use it, even though I feel like I'm so behind with Becker's stuff? I'm trying to be efficient learning the material. What is the better strategy?
When you say compressed folder, are you talking about the Ninja materials?
Yeah, there is like the 10-point combo.
Yeah.
And
well, so let's say that you're getting ready to study bonds. You might read the Ninja notes over bonds. Before you do that, a lot of people do that. And then just in your downtime, if you have an iPad, or some people print them out, and before you go to sleep at night, spend 5 minutes reading the bonds chapter over Ninja notes or something like that. If you have a commute, or if you like to study and exercise, or people do it while mowing the lawn or doing the dishes or whatever, you can load the Ninja audio onto your iPhone or Android or whatever you use, or even just an MP3 player, and that helps fill in the gaps so you can study when you couldn't otherwise study.
Okay. Yeah, I just feel like it's not. I'm scared. Not really good results. So I feel really low. I'm trying to get my motivation back.
Well, May, let me tell you, there's a lot of people in your shoes with the exact same score, and they're wondering the exact same thing. And I've talked to a lot of people over the last 3 or 4 years who have the exact same situation that you are in, and they just made some changes, and eventually they pass. So it's not a matter of if, but when for you. And so just know there's a lot of people out there just like you.
So just now, I'll take your advice. I'll watch all the videos, and then just maybe give the homework last, and then just do the homework as like a homework, and then use maybe the progress test as well as redoing. One thing about me is I memorize the homework. I don't want to memorize it. So maybe I'll do the progress test as a homework, and then use other sources as like a new material to me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of progress tests, other than, if you work a set of 20 questions over bonds, if you're scoring 70, 80%, that's pretty good. But a progress test or practice test does not tell you really anything other than what percentage you got right, because they don't even use the same psychometric scoring system that the actual exam uses, and it's really hard to replicate that. So I wouldn't get I would only do maybe a progress test after you've done all of your multiple choice questions. And even then, if you have 3 hours to spend on multiple choice questions, I think 3 hours over highly targeted, intensive mini testlets over like bonds, inventory, not-for-profit accounting, et cetera, is more effective than just doing a random practice test. And always do your multiple choice questions in study mode. Don't do them in exam mode, because you want that instant feedback, because you don't want to have to go back and try to figure out, okay, I know I missed this one, so what was the little fact nugget they were testing me on, or that I should remember?
Okay, I will do that. Okay. And then when I need more practice, I will go like the Wiley. Is that the Wiley text pen?
Yeah, if you got the 10-point combo, right now it comes with that.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Okay, thank you,
I'm sure you'll probably. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Let's see here. Area code 415. Area code 415. Are you there? $502.
Hey, Jeff. This is Sharif.
Hey, Sharif.
I'm from Louisville. Kentucky. I had a question about the FAR exam. The FAR exam concerning the simulations. I'm taking it the second time. This is my last exam, and I did well the first time on the multiple choice, but I got slammed on the simulations.
Okay.
I think it was a time management situation I had. I just kind of ran out of time, and I was just wondering, what areas should I focus on during I'm using Becker. What areas should I focus on to prepare for the simulations on the FAR exam?
Well, that's a tough one, because obviously they could give you any question. I've always felt that if you know the material conceptually well enough to do well on the multiple choice questions, then in theory you should be able to do well on the simulations, because the simulations are just an adaptation of that knowledge that you have. And given enough time, so proper time management, as you said, given enough time, you should do okay. So I'm not a huge proponent of practicing simulations, because number one, it's hard to exactly replicate the look and feel of the actual exam environment. But number two, you could spend a day working nothing but FAR sims and work them over 7 different topics and get none of those topics on exam day. And so that's time that you could have spent working multiple choice questions. So do you agree with any of that logic?
Yeah, I kind of do, because even though my last FAR simulation exam, I mean, a lot of material I did recognize in the multiple choice. I mean, it seemed like it was very random stuff. I mean, they threw like several different like problems at me during like one simulation. So, I mean, it was kind of hard to really get through it all, you know, with the time I had. So I think I was just wondering if there's anything I can do differently to prepare for it going to the exam. I know time management is one thing, and I was just wondering if there's anything in the materials, in the Becker materials, that I could like just focus on specifically to prepare for the FAR exam. So I mean the simulations.
Sure. Well, going into your first exam, did you practice the research component?
Yeah, I did practice that. I mean, I didn't spend a lot of time on it because it was fairly self-explanatory. I mean,
okay, but you knew how to.
And
do it.
I felt, yeah.
Okay. What did you score on FAR?
First time I got a 69.
Okay. So, what besides simulations, what area or areas do you think you're weak in?
That's a good question. I think the areas I'm not totally confident in is probably the I mean, some of the bond stuff can be kind of confusing. Some of the IFRS, the fair value stuff, kind of throws me off, and the cash flow, like doing the indirect method. I mean, I know there's a big simulation in the Becker software on the cash flow, and I know, I mean, it'll take me forever to get through that. I mean, hopefully that won't be on the exam, but something like that I can see could be a challenge if they give me the indirect method, cash flow statement, like something like that would be.
Yeah. Well, the reason why it would be, and so in that instance, it's not an issue of the simulations giving you problems. It's a situation where conceptually you're weaker in that area.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah.
So this time, okay. Your first time, did you take notes while you were watching the videos?
Well, I took all the notes that they recommend you take, and then I will make my own notes going through the homework. You know, like if I miss a problem,
yeah,
I'll write the whole answer down, and I will go in a book and basically research it in a book, and then I'll write additional notes. And I write down a lot of notes. I got the flashcards, and I write notes on those. And well, the first time I didn't do that, but I mean, each exam afterwards I did that. I mean, like on the auditing part and the BEC, I made sure I took a lot more notes. On the first time, I didn't really take a lot of notes. So, but the last couple of exams I had, the REG and the BEC, I took a lot of notes, and I mean, it paid off pretty well. So I'm using that same strategy going into this one. Yeah. Okay. And I'm hoping that's going to pay off for me. Just writing everything down, just over and over again.
Okay.
Whether I know it or not, I just continue to write it.
Well, once you have those notes, what do you do with them after you've written them? Are you like constantly reviewing them, or do you just kind of write them down?
Yeah, I constantly review them.
Okay.
Yeah, I write them down, and then I bring them to work, and then I keep them like beside me. I just go down each one and just make sure I understand what I wrote and it makes sense, and I at least try to retain whatever I can from those notes. So.
Sounds like someone's having a birthday.
Yeah, I'm at work right now. It's only.
Well, do you? I want you to have a takeaway from this phone call, and I'm not sure that I've given you one other than I'm not sure that it's fair to blame the simulations when it's probably you probably hit the concepts in the multiple choice questions harder.
Okay, so I should focus more on the multiple choice.
Yeah, and and make sure that you're taking good notes over the videos and the or the multiple choice questions. Do you have my Ninja Study Planner?
I just recently downloaded and I purchased the Ninja audio notes.
Okay.
As well, and I bought them like a couple of weeks ago, and I probably listened to them at least about 8, 9, 10 times. I mean, I listen to them in my car, I listen to them at work, I listen to them, whenever I'm out and I'm away from my my desk. So
cool.
Pretty much, I'm trying to cover all bases and use everything because I want to make sure this October I'm finished with this thing. So
sure.
So I'm just trying to use every tool I can to prepare for it.
Well, I mean, you've passed 3 already, Sharif, so you know how to pass the exam. It sounds like you're doing the right things this time, so it sounds like you're definitely heading in the right direction. So just keep plugging along, just keep doing it.
So let me ask you this: I was hearing your other conversation about the notes. I got the tail end of it. As far as the notes I've already taken down, should I just rewrite those and make sure? Is that a good way to try to retain? Because I got a lot of notes, and I was wondering, should I rewrite those? And
I think so. I mean, it is very, very labor intensive. It'd probably take you a week to do it. I mean, and it's a pain in the butt. I'll tell you that. But I think it pays off because number one, you're reabsorbing the material, and then it kind of, let's say you take a whole paragraph because you're just writing furiously as you're watching the videos. Maybe you can take that whole paragraph and sum it up in 2 sentences. And it's those 2 sentences that you're going to remember on exam day, not that entire paragraph.
Okay,
so,
I got you.
So
that makes sense.
So try to put it into bullet points if you can.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate it, Jeff, and thanks a lot for all your hard work. And
well, my pleasure, Sharif. It's great talking with you.
All right.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Yeah.
Area code 661.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Yes, good. I have a question regarding written communication portion of BEC test. Nobody's scared of this session, but I guess because most of the people who do this test are native, and it's like a first language for them. For me, I'm about to take this test next month, and I really don't know how to prepare because the lectures that I'm watching, most of the teachers are saying, oh, you know what, there's nothing to concentrate in, so basically just do your best, do the right planning, make sure that you're checking all the errors and stuff, but nobody is actually teaching the way we should do this portion of the test. Any suggestions?
Well, did you, not to further add to your stress, but did you see on Facebook last week where I asked what exam people were most scared of besides FAR? Anyway.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that you said that it's like the most hated test one.
Yeah. So essentially, I asked what exam people are most scared of besides FAR, and the majority surprisingly said BEC.
Right.
So anyway, BEC is not to be taken lightly. So to your question for written communications, and you said English is not your first language?
Right.
Number one, for the written communications, if you have to understand the material conceptually. And then on to the actual writing. I mean, you're writing a memo, so you have your thesis statement, and then you have a couple of supporting paragraphs, and then your conclusion. Have you practiced writing essays or memos like that?
No, never. That's what I'm scared of. Like I work in accounting, but I never write memos. It's like it's a general accounting. It's not like I'm working for accounting company where you have to write the notes and stuff. Usually my emails are short and to the point.
Right.
So,
well, you got to start practicing it.
are there any recommendations, like maybe books or material that I can look over? Because I know the concepts, and I'm not scared of multiple choice part of the test. I just don't know if I'm able, and I'm not sure that I will be able to get the maximum score on my multiple choice. So I want to leave a little bit, extra space for this written communication. So in case that I didn't do that well in my multiple choice portion of the test, I will be able to get the extra points on this written communication part. So maybe there are any books or examples that I can look at.
Well, what books are you using to study with, or what software?
I'm using Rogers. And I read one of these books recently wrote by a person who also has her website. I think it's called iPass CPA or something like that. It's for CPA candidates from overseas, and she's recommending just one book, but it's just a general grammar book, so there's no actually real examples of the memos or emails that you have to write or the way you should write them.
Okay, doesn't Roger come with the Wiley book?
Yes, he goes with mine.
Okay. In the back of the Wiley book, there should be normally it's simulations, but for BEC, it's the written communications.
Mm-hmm.
They should have examples back there. So really, it's like when they say, what is the effect on total revenue with an inelastic good in a period of rising prices or something like that, and so then they probably have you write the memo, and then they have the example memo that should reflect a correct answer. You might just go through and read those answers.
Okay.
Read all of them, and just first and foremost, run your spell check. Make sure that you're using proper grammar, and one thing you might do is are you registered in the Another 71 forum?
I'm sorry?
Are you registered in the Another 71 forum?
Yes, I am, yes.
Okay. So you might type out the question and then a sample memo and have people look at it.
Okay. You see, the thing is that I remember a long time ago when I was preparing for my essay portion of GMAT, they gave us just these keywords that we should use in every paragraph. How should it start? What should we write in the middle? How should we conclude it? It was easy. Like, I understand that I wouldn't get the maximum score. I would, or any comparable score to native English speakers, but at least, I had some kind of structure. Okay, here it's like no structure. Just do your best. Make sure that it's to the point. Make sure that you check your grammar and stuff like that. So if somebody could just, give me a more structured way to work on this, it will be much easier. That's what I'm saying. And if there's any place that I can look up, anything like that?
Well, it's as simple as understanding the concepts and knowing the keywords. So probably in the back of your chapters you have like a list of keywords or something, but the written communications are graded by a computer, and it will be looking for grammar and keywords, and I'm sure they have some sort of algorithm that tests for sentence structure, but you have to be able to use the keywords. But it's as simple as practicing writing memos. I mean, the only way that you are going to do a good job on exam day is by practice. For as far as the memo portion is by writing the memos, and you can write good memos by reading good memos. And so that's the first place I would look, is in the back of that Wiley book.
Okay. Okay, can somebody maybe there is a place that I can just look up this keywords, let's say there is a subject, a certain chapter, and those are the keywords that you have to know in order, to answer the question.
I think the Wiley book has a list of keywords in the back of each chapter.
They do?
I believe so.
By chapter?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, I'll look for it. Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry, what was your first name again?
Ida.
Hi, Ida. Okay.
Hi.
Well, nice talking with you today, Ida.
Thank you very much for your help.
Sure. Bye.
Okay, bye.
Area code 760. 760, are you there? Okay. 772, are you there?
Hi, I'm here.
How are you?
My name's Honey. Good, how are you?
Good. I'm sorry. What was your first name again?
Perfect time. Haneen.
Haneen. How do you spell that?
Hanin.
Got it.
Well, actually, I've been listening for the last couple calls, and from what I've heard, it seems like everything that I've tried to stop myself from doing, you've recommended. For example, the video, I'm using the Jaeger review, and I'm tempted to just watch the videos so that I can feel like I've accomplished something,
right?
Because I feel like I'm taking too much time doing the questions. Like, I try to watch a video, then do the questions, the multiple choice, and the simulations on it. But then I end up spending like 4 days, sometimes almost a week, on that module, and I get worried because I think to myself, okay, by the time I'm done with all these modules, I'll need 6 months. So,
right.
But I heard you telling someone earlier that I guess sometimes it's okay to just truck along and watch the videos.
Well,
without doing the multiple choice.
Well, yeah, I mean, part of the Ninja Study Framework is to get through every single video in your video library first before you work multiple choice questions. Because otherwise people feel like they're stuck in like video purgatory and they're never getting out.
Yes.
And so
I guess it wouldn't be harmful if I did that then, because I was just afraid that I would hurt myself by not doing the questions right after, or I felt like I might forget some of the information. I take notes when I'm watching the videos, and I was going back before and rewriting my notes and then making index cards based off of my notes. And but I felt like it was taking me too much time. So I kind of eliminated that like a month ago. But now, listening to the conversations and thinking about it, I feel like I had a better grasp of the concepts before when I was rewriting the notes, as opposed to just not rewriting them anymore and just going back and reading them while I'm doing the problem.
Yeah. Okay. So, how many exams have you taken?
I have not taken any. FARs will be my first, and I'm planning on taking it in January.
In January?
Yeah, I'm trying to get myself. I'm trying not to rush myself, because in the past with standardized tests, I feel like I have to rush myself, and then I feel like I don't study as well. So I'm trying to give myself enough time that I'll feel comfortable with most of the material before I go in and take the exam. I don't want to rush myself and take it not feeling prepared.
I think you're actually giving yourself too much time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I don't recommend people taking any more than 8 weeks for FAR, or really for any exam. But
if I'm taking 3 classes at doing a master's program at a university near here, and I'm taking 3 of the upper level classes. So I was kind of afraid that if I took it right now during the semester, like I was thinking November initially, and then just last week I decided, okay, maybe I should move it to January, just because I didn't want it to overlap with finals or other projects and stuff like that.
Well, do you also do you also work in addition to taking classes?
No, I took this semester off from working. I quit my job because I just wanted to focus on my last 3 classes and preparing myself for the FAR's portion of the exam.
Okay, so, most people have to work full time and study for the exam. So
I know.
And so you can treat your 3 classes and the associated study and projects like a full-time job and also study for the CPA exam.
All right. Okay.
Now,
you're right.
I know doing
I need
it in
the
January.
tough love.
Well, I know that doing it in January is the nice, easy way out. And, you can go to class, do your projects, and come home and watch TV or whatever and live the good student life. Yeah. But I think you should take your exam mid to late November.
Okay. So I guess I should stick with my initial plan then. I'm taking it in November.
Yep.
All right, that's what I'll do. And okay, another thing that I'm kind of worried about is that I feel like I get too many questions wrong. When I watch the video and then I go back and I start the multiple choice questions, I feel like I get them wrong and it drives me crazy. But I guess it's like I heard before I was taking the tests, the exams where it didn't give you the answer right after you selected the multiple choice. And then now I'm hearing you say that it's better to just have the explanation right after.
Yeah, that instant feedback.
Because I have the Wiley test thing. Yes, the instant feedback. So I guess that's another thing that I can change to kind of just getting a better idea of what I'm doing immediately after I do it or why I got it wrong.
Yeah, and you know what? Getting questions wrong is just part of the learning process. So don't let it freak you out. I mean, after several testlets of bonds, you're gonna be doing well. I mean, you're gonna be scoring 70 to 80%, and that's pretty good for practice. So don't be afraid. I mean, you can watch a video and they can teach you the concepts of bonds and amortization tables and premiums and discounts and all that, but then to apply those concepts to exam questions, two completely different things. And so don't be afraid to get them wrong. I mean, don't let it get you down. It's normal.
Because I feel like I understand the concepts when I'm watching the video, but then when it comes time for me to do the problems on my own, I get them wrong, and that's what's driving me crazy. But
it's just
I was also going to okay, I have the Jaeger program. There are different instructors, and some are better than others. So there's this one particular instructor that every time I get him, I don't understand the video when I'm done. And so there are certain parts, like for example, last week I watched our module on deferred taxes, and I did not have a good understanding of it when I was done. I felt like I had no more better knowledge of it than before I watched the video. So I wish I had just purchased one section at a time, but I went ahead and I purchased the whole thing. But now I'm realizing that there are some areas that I'm not going to be as strong in, or I feel like it may be more of a challenge to me just because I'm not understanding it as well.
Every instructor has their quirks, but ultimately it's up to. Ultimately it's up to you to still understand the information. What if you feel like after watching a video, you're weak in an area, just do that many more multiple choice questions over it.
Okay.
And make sure that you're really reading the answer explanations.
The Ninja Audio, what is that like? Because I researched it a few months ago, and I was contemplating whether I should purchase it, but then I was afraid that are you working like problems? Because if I'm driving, it would be nice to have something that I can listen to, and just something that I can pop in my car and listen to it while I go on long trips and stuff like that.
Sure.
But are they working on problems, or are they, because I'm a visual learner, so that was something that I was afraid of, that I would be hearing it, but, listening it to while I'm driving, but am I really going to grasp what is going on since I'm not visually seeing it done?
I am a huge fan of audiobooks, so I have like my audible.com account, and I listen to a lot of books. And so I felt like I had a grasp of what it took to make a good audiobook, because the wrong way to do an audio is to just throw a bunch of stuff into a recording, and no one can keep track of that, and they'll just shut it off. And so how I approached the audio was, okay, if I was listening to this, how would I learn? And so I repeat a lot of stuff. I use examples when I can, and when my voice cracks like it just did, I edit it out. It happens to me after I've been speaking for a while. And so, but to see if it's for you, go to Another 71 and click Study Plan. And then I have demos of all the audios and notes and my study plan and all that. It's all for free.
Okay. Because I'm definitely interested in the schedule planner that you mentioned earlier. So I'm going online to check that out as soon as I get to the computer.
Cool. Yeah.
And I think that will, yeah. And so I guess I'll check out the audio as well while I'm on the website.
Yeah, and so it comes with a free full chapter of the audio to see if it's for you. I think most people end up liking it. So, but it won't hurt my feelings if you don't like it. So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your help.
Yeah, my pleasure. And call me back anytime.
All right. Thank you.
All right. See
you.
Bye. All right. Area code 781.
Hey, Jeff, this is Josh.
Josh?
Yeah, Josh.
How are you? Is it Josh? Josh?
No, it's Yayash.
Yash. Gotcha. Sorry, Yash. Okay. How are you?
Okay. Good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Okay. My question is, so I've passed 3 of my sections. I'm done with the BEC, I'm done with FAR, and I'm done with REG. So I'm stuck on audit now. And I gave my exam twice. I got 68 on both of them. And I'm using Becker for my study. And my 18 months is getting over on the 30th of October. So I've already scheduled my exam on the 25th of October. I want to know what should I do, because I'm getting stuck on the simulations, because the first exam I thought was pretty easy when I did my MCQs and simulations, but I did not fare well. And the second exam, when I came out of the exam, I thought the exam was pretty difficult. And I observed that there's a kind of a theme that, they were asking more questions regarding disclosures. So everything was revolving around disclosures in the whole paper. And I think that's why I bombed it. And when I came out, and I wasn't pretty comfortable with the MCQ. I mean, with the MCQs as well. So I bought your material yesterday. I bought the 10-point combo. I just want to know that how should I go ahead with it now? I mean, what should be my plan?
And so I'm sorry, I didn't catch what section you're taking.
Audit.
Audit. Okay, sorry. So your fear is simulations. Is that correct?
Yes.
Well, backing up, a few minutes ago I was talking with Sharif, and he scored a 69 on FAR the first time, very similar to your 268s on audit, and he felt like he had bombed the simulations. And as we drilled down into it, I think it was more the case that he was weaker conceptually, he didn't want to get a cash flow simulation because he was weak on the indirect method. Well, that's not because you're worried about simulations. That's because you're worried about understanding the indirect method. So let's go do a bunch of multiple choice questions of the indirect method and really learn it, so that if you do get a cash flow statement, then it's not as big of a deal. And did you say that? Did you say that? And you have a credit that's expiring on the 31st?
Yeah, on the 30th October, I have a credit expiring. So I've already taken a date as 25th of October.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the last attempt before my BEC drops.
Okay. And have you passed any other exams?
Yeah, I've passed all the 3.
Okay. Is there something different that you're doing preparation-wise for audit that you're not doing that you didn't do for the others? I mean, you're taking.
I use Becker as my studying material, and I think what always happens is the second time I do all the material, I tend to remember everything. So when I go to a multiple choice, before even I read the question, I know the answer. So that's not helping because that I'm not facing new questions. And then Becker, what I've seen is 30 to 40% of the MCQs are basically questions from the past exams. So when I had Wiley as 2011 test bank, and I was doing that as well, and I came across the same kind of questions, which I always remembered. So, is there a place I can find new questions to solve? Because I think I understand the concept, but on evidence, I think I'm a little weak on audit evidence. I have Becker 2013 and I have Wiley's 2011, but I think I bought your 10-point combo yesterday, so I think I'm going to have 2013 questions from Wiley as well.
Yeah. And, you will still likely see overlap because the exam companies get their questions, or they license their questions from the same source, which is the AICPA. Now, granted, they have their own publisher questions that they write, but you will see quite a bit of overlap because they come from the same source, the AICPA, for a lot of them.
Right.
But when you're watching your videos, backing up, are you taking notes or highlighting? What are you doing?
Yes, on Becker, yes, I'm highlighting everything, and I didn't take my own notes this time, but generally I used to take my own notes. But in audit, I don't know somehow I didn't take my notes. So I have one of my friends took audit, and he had made notes. So I'm using his notes, which are pretty close to what I would have done. But I think that is one strategy I need to change and make my own notes.
Okay, so on your other 3 exams that you passed, you took notes, but in audit you didn't?
No, so basically on BEC I made my own notes, and on FAR I made my own notes. In regulation I did not make any notes, though I passed. And on audit I did not make any notes.
Okay, I think you need to make your own notes.
Okay.
I mean, even if your friend took the same notes that you would have,
right,
still you will absorb the material so much better than if you took your own notes. I would just replicate what you did on FAR for audit as far as note taking, and make sure that you are doing a ton of multiple choice questions, and you have the 10-point combo. So listen to the audio whenever you can. When you get in your car, fire up your iPod or iPhone or whatever, or CD, however you use it, and listen to it. Don't turn on talk radio or music or whatever.
Okay.
I do realize that I'm not very exciting to listen to, but I do my best.
No, I did actually. Last 2 days I was traveling, and I did use. So I completed 4 sections of them.
Yeah.
So we have we have 6 questions, right? 6 sections. So I did 4 of them, and I'm left with 2. So whenever I get a chance, in the morning when I'm getting ready for work and all those things, I just switch it on.
Okay, cool. So I think we just unpacked what you need to do, and that's take notes.
Okay.
Even if that means starting over.
Okay.
As painful as that sounds.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. The thing I want to know is like, so do I go over the Becker material again and then come to Ninja Notes and then start writing Ninja Notes, because I have almost 6 weeks now to my exam. If I complete one chapter of Becker every day and do questions the other day, so basically 2 days for one section, that's probably around 12 days, and then do you recommend me to go and do the Ninja Notes, write down every day? I mean, I can try and complete 90 pages in one day, but I just want to know, is that the right path to go, or do you think a different strategy would help?
You have, 6 weeks doesn't sound like a lot of time, but it is plenty of time to go back and do it right. So start over from the beginning, watch the videos, take notes, and watch all of your videos and take notes over all of your videos. Then start doing the multiple choice questions. This time, since you have the Wiley Test Bank, switch over to the Wiley Test Bank for that portion, and then do your Wiley Test Bank questions and take notes, and then spend a week rewriting your notes. But try to do that at least 2 weeks out from your exam, and then your last week will be spent, reading the Ninja Notes, reading your notes that you've rewritten, working problem spots. So let's say your week in audit evidence. So start there and work 20 question mini testlets in study mode, so you get the instant feedback until you're getting like 70-80%. Then move on to your next weakest area. Let's say it's internal control. We all know that internal control affects pretty much every aspect of the audit, so you have to be good in that. And that's what I would do. And the whole time, keep listening to the Ninja audio like you're doing, and I think you're going to do well.
Okay. And the last thing is, last 2 times I gave an exam, I just see a theme that, it revolves around one topic, and you have questions all around in the same topic. So, they catch one part of the exam, and then I get questions all around from different topics on the same topic, like the internal control, but for different parts. So, the theme is like when they pick up one topic as a theme, and then they just keep asking questions around that. Is it common, or is it just that I have seen in the last exam?
Well, okay, so let's say internal control. I'm not looking at the CSO right now, but I'm guessing internal control is 15 to 20% of the exam, right?
Right.
So that means every 5th question is going to be about internal control. And so it might just seem to you like they're hitting on one topic when in fact they're just following the CSO. So
okay.
And inevitably, if you walk into an exam and you feel like you're weak on a topic, every question is going to feel like they're asking you about what you don't know.
Okay.
So
it's more of a mental issue than...
I think so.
Okay.
Well,
sounds good.
Well, thank you, Yash. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Jeff.
Okay, take care, man.
Have a good day. Bye.
You too, bye. Area code 818. Hello, 818. Last call for 818. Area code 917.
Jeff.
What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can.
Hi, my name is Steve. How are you?
I'm great, Steve. Where are you from?
I'm from New York, moved to California. So I'm registered to take exams in New York, so I can take them anywhere, basically, across the country.
Sure.
So I've been struggling with this exam for the last 3 years. I've been doing, I was doing Becker for a while. So just a little kind of background. As a little kid, I never did well in standardized exams ever. I was discovered I have test anxiety, so I actually get extra time in my exams. So my issue is, well, I was tested. I had like educational testing, and and I was diagnosed with like severe test anxiety. It's been a struggle.
Okay.
It's been a struggle. Like to take my GMAT was like, I got through my GMAT, I got my MBA. So I have my MBA. I did a concentration in accounting, but I worked my ass off.
Sure.
So with that said, the issue obviously for me is not necessarily timing. It's an issue. My first issue I realized recently, I would take an exam, I would take FAR, and then I wouldn't wait to get to score, and I would just jump to the next exam. So everyone kept telling me, wait till you get the score, and if you didn't pass, take it again.
Yep.
So that was a mistake I made, which I'm obviously changing my strategy. With that said, I recently took REG, and I bombed it completely. And I thought I was pretty well prepared, but obviously apparently I was not. And based on the other calls and comments that I've heard, I found that as I'm going through the questions, I'm doing probably what a lot of people do, and like if I'm repeating the questions and going through them over and over again, I already know what the answer is.
Okay.
So obviously, I don't want to obviously, doing the questions that I wrote and not learning the material correctly. And that's issue number one. Issue number two is I found that in the past exams, especially this REG exam, I took it in middle of August, the simulations completely threw me. And I know that's what killed me. I completely bombed my simulation. So I obviously want to approach the exam correctly. What I have currently is I have Becker for 2012, and I have your 2012 Ninja Notes. And currently I'm unemployed, so I have time. I'm interviewing, but I have time in terms of studying. So I just want to know the best approach based on all the parameters that I've set out, what my best strategy is.
Okay. Well, first of all, if you bought the Ninja Notes, I give free updates until you pass.
Oh, that I didn't know.
Okay. So yeah, just email me. I'll update your stuff.
Okay.
Okay. So you have 2012 Becker. Do you have the videos with that, or is that just the book?
Oh no, I have the book and I have all the videos.
Okay. Are those going to be expiring?
So they expire because I got through a friend of mine. They expire in January, so I have time.
Okay.
But I just would like to at least get one exam under my belt and to know I passed. I have a lot of anxiety, obviously, from not passing all this time, and I'm just tired. I'm just tired of trying and not passing.
Okay. When I first started out, I was studying, and I kind of farted around for 3 years myself. I wasn't giving it 100%. I was like, I'd study really hard the week before the exam and go fail it. And then it wasn't until I started studying hard and then I passed them. Are you studying hard, or are you doing like I was doing and playing Madden and stuff instead of studying?
I'll tell you what it is. Part of my anxiety is when I so this is the other component. I'll look at Becker and I'll write all my notes, right? And then I'll supplement it with your notes. But then I'll go through questions, and let's say I'll see a question, and again, part of my anxiety is if I'll see a question and it's a completely out of left field question, I'll look, in Becker, I'll see the material in there, but then I'll look at the Ninja Notes, and because I know yours is obviously more, kind of structured, bare bones, but I'm afraid, like, I don't want to miss anything important, but at the same time, like, maybe that's just like a random question that, you know, how often they actually ask it. So I kind of get thrown when I'm going through this stuff, and I kind of feel like I'm not learning it, like, as well as I really need to. And like I said, I keep thinking that as I'm going through the material and through the note, I'm kind of doing it out of rote. Oh, God, I've seen this before. I've done this before.
Okay, so how many hours a week are you studying?
I just started studying again this week, or in the last week. I'm trying to put about like 5 to 6 hours a day.
Okay, that's right, because you're studying full time.
Yeah, I'm studying because I'm not working right now. I'm interviewing in between if I have meetings, you know, or interviews.
Okay, backing up, you've been on this 3-year journey. How, percentage-wise, how hard do you think you were studying? 60%, 80%, 110%? How much effort do you think you were giving?
I'd say, honestly, probably 60 to 70%.
Okay, so, all right, so your failures in the past are not because of a lack of ability or anything. It's just a lack of discipline. Same thing as me, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And so that's a lot better than if you had been putting in 110% and can't pass. That's a lot more stressful. I mean, it's a lot easier to fix than get your butt out of bed. Okay, so you're studying 5 hours, or your plan is to study 5 hours a week? Or sorry, 5 hours a day?
No, like 5 hours a day. But I'm looking to you for guidance in terms of what do you think is the right amount of time without, one, burning myself out. 2, how long should I study for each exam? Meaning, do I need 5 weeks, 6 weeks? Because I heard you had said a couple of calls before that you had said something, you know, studying for FAR for 8 weeks is just like way too much time. So again, I want to be as efficient with my time as possible, study and pass the exam.
Sure.
I don't want to drag this out for another 3 more years. I want to be done with this.
Well, you're in a very unique situation because most people who have a full-time job, it's everything that they can do to put in 20 to 25 hours a week. But you can treat this like your full-time job, and you can put in, if you want to, 40.
I want to.
Okay, we'll say 40 hours a week studying.
Okay.
Like, I mean, and when I say studying, I mean not having like Facebook and Gmail tabs open and clicking around, you know?
Yep.
And I mean taking notes. So if you wanted to, you could study 40 hours a week and take REG again in 3 weeks.
Okay.
And then go take FAR or whatever at the beginning of November, and take auditing at the end of. So take FAR at the beginning of November. Take auditing. Heck, if you wanted to, take auditing mid-November. Take BEC end of November. I mean, if you wanted to, you could do that.
Okay.
It's not going to be fun.
Nope.
But you have the time.
That's fine. Yeah.
Because, okay, let's say that you take REG at the beginning of October and you don't, let's say you come up short. We're going to assume that you pass, but let's say you come up short. Well, you might as well you might as well move on to FAR or audit or BEC because you can't take REG again until January. So it makes no sense.
That's true.
So really, if you want to get up at 7 every morning, sure, take an hour lunch break and quit by 5:30, that's a full work day. And then you have the freedom to either study in the evening or just take the evening off like you would a normal job. That's 40 hours a week, and really you don't even have to take the weekends off.
I can or I can't?
You could if you wanted to.
Okay.
I mean, really, it's completely up to you.
Okay.
If you,
which you're right. So the question I have is, I guess back to the multiple choice. How is the best or most effective way as I'm studying. I'm doing my 8 hours a day. I'm doing, I'm going through my questions. That I'm not doing this out of rote, because I feel like I am. So when I say rote, like I'm going through questions again. Oh, I already know that question because I did it 5 times already, so I already know what the answer is.
You need new software.
Okay.
And I sell some on my site. It's pretty cheap, but you need different software.
Okay.
And so you watch the videos. Don't highlight. Don't underline. You need to go out to Office Depot and get a stack of legal pads.
Which I do. I have. I've done that.
And just start writing furiously, and get through all the videos, and then work through all the multiple choice questions. Take notes over those. Rewrite those notes. And you said that you got the 10-point combo. Is that right?
No, I don't. I only had the Ninja notes.
Ninja notes. Okay. And so the whole time you're reading the notes and all that. And shoot me an email, and I'll send you the updated notes, and I'll throw in the audio too.
Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. My pleasure. And so, gosh, I mean, you could be done with studying for REG in 2.5 weeks. And
okay.
And now this is scary, but so 2.5 weeks. So it's like early October. Let's say it's October 5th. Go today and schedule. Well, first, map out what you're going to do. Make sure it's realistic, and make sure that you're actually going to do it. But go and schedule your exam for October 5th.
Okay. Now, this is my question to you. Let's say we have for REG. There are approximately, let's say, according to Becker, there are approximately 8 chapters. There are 8 quote unquote topics.
Sure.
Let's say chapters 1 and 2 is individual. So per day, how many topics do you think, like, to really absorb, to really know it, master it? How many like days or topics should I be going through a day? And the other question is, how do I not forget? Because I find that's the other thing. Like, I go through a chapter, I do the questions, I go to the next chapter, and then a couple of days later, I'm like, oh, I forgot what chapter 1 is or chapter 2.
Well, that's where writing everything down. Even if you write everything down, you are going to forget it. But it's when you review your notes and then you rewrite your notes, you relearn the material, and then you constantly are reviewing that. And then you have the Ninja notes to help too. But everyone forgets material because it's not stuff that most people work with on a day in, day out basis. And so as far as spacing, so there's 8 chapters, and instead of modules, I would break it down by hours. And so chapter 1 is 4 hours of video, but I know that I hit pause a lot to write stuff down. So 4 hours of video actually takes me 6 hours.
Okay.
And so I would budget it by hours. And then there's 1,000 multiple choice questions. It takes me on average a minute and a half to 2 minutes per multiple choice question. So that's 2,000 minutes, however many hours that is. And so I would just that's how I would budget it.
Okay. And as I heard in some of the other phone calls, people have called about the simulations. Like, I honestly thought I really got out of left field simulation. Like, this is stuff I barely looked at, and I'm like,
you will never know what types of simulations you're going to get, and you can't plan for every type of simulation, and so that's just life. And just know the concepts as best as you can, and that's all you can do.
Okay. Okay. But you're saying that as long as I know the concepts as well as I can, of the 6 tabs, as long as I can get at least, 3 of the simulations correct, I should be fine, assuming I did well in the multiple choice.
Well, hopefully. I don't, who knows what type of secret formula they have with the...
Well, the simulations are worth 40%. I'm just saying that if I can get at least 20%, assuming I did, well on the, multiple choice, let's say I get, close to a lot of them, 50%, whatever it is, I get 20-25% on the simulations, I should hopefully be within the ballpark, so to speak.
Yeah, hopefully, although I'm not confident that the math works out like that.
It doesn't.
Yeah, because if you, let's say that you kill it in the testlets and bomb the sims,
you're done.
I don't know if they're going to pass you or not, even if you get the...
No, of course, no, because it's only worth 60%, the multiple choice.
Right, well, but see, let's say that you, so your first testlet is on medium, and you do well, and so your second and third testlets are hard, they're worth more points. Let's say you kill those, but then you do so on this. I mean, I don't know how the math works out other than
got it.
Just do well.
No, of course. I guess I guess the only other thing I would ask is, in terms of the going through the multiple choice questions, I mean, do you think it pays as I'm going to taking down notes for the questions that I'm struggling with?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep, that is an integral part.
Okay.
I mean, it's easier and it feels better just to click, and hey, I worked 30 multiple choice questions. I can go for a jog. I mean, it feels good to check stuff off. But if you're only doing it halfway and don't really understand what you just did, it's kind of a waste of time. So yes, it takes more time to do multiple choice questions that way, but make sure that you're writing down notes, and do that even if you do the answer, but you felt like later on you might forget.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Because yeah, go ahead.
No, and in terms of flashcards. So the other, I guess, the biggest component, and I guess it would apply to FAR, REG, and BEC, is the one thing that kind of, I guess, makes me anxious, or I get some anxiety. Is like you have like all these formulas. So like for AMT or the different formulas that you need to memorize. Is it best to just write them as flashcards and just memorize, or like?
I think that, so like, let's say the AMT formula, you have your AMTI and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
I would conceptually understand what's going on with AMT as far as the add backs and such.
Okay.
But as far as memorize, I mean, could you see a question asking you to calculate some of those in-depth crazy AMT stuff? Yes. Could you do that? Does that mean that you should spend hours memorizing that formula? No.
Okay.
And that's just something that you just know that you're going to live with.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, fine.
Is that helpful, Steve?
Fine. Yes, it was. What is the best way for me to email you for the updates in the 10-point combo?
Jeff@another71.com.
And so just, I guess, to look out. And how will you know it's from me?
Just be like, yo, it's Steve from New York, but now I live in Cali. And then I'll know it's you.
Oh, okay, perfect. Jeff, thank you so much. And I'll definitely keep you posted about sending you the email right now.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye. All right. Area code 954. How are you?
Hi, Jeff. How are you?
Good. Sorry for the wait.
It's okay.
Who am I speaking with?
Thank you so much. This is Annie.
Hi, Annie.
Hi. Well, I'm going to try to make my story really, really short. I finished my master's in accounting in 2011. 11 or 12, I'm sorry, 12. 12, I ordered my, my Becker, I ordered Becker. And then the thing is that it was like personal problems, one after another. I also have, now she's 5 years old, I have a 5-year-old daughter. And I work full-time, too. So it's been a nightmare trying to, find time, plus, my house was broken into. I mean, it's one after another. And since 12, I've been trying to study. Finally, this year, I decided to sit for audit. I failed. Then I sat for FAR. I failed. The beginning of this year, I bought your materials. I also bought, the Wiley, the Wiley online review from you, so that I can have an extra, practice. And actually, your videos, not your videos, I'm sorry, your audio helped me a lot because, while I was going to work, I will play them, all over and over again. And, that actually helped me a lot. I'm just trying to see if I can get back on track. The thing is that, where I work, which is a CPA firm, they really have been very, very helpful. And to me, like, in a way that they have supported me in my decision, and, they want me to succeed. And now, since I was going through, a lot of things in my personal life, I talked to them. They said if I could postpone the CPA. The thing is that my, my audit expires because I bought the updated one, because I took it when it was, the old audit. Now it's updated. I bought that part, but it expires in December. Then I have let me see here, regulation expires in March, and BEC on FAR expires in November next year. And, I just need help to see how can I get, back on track. I actually also send, because I was, listening to, the other classmates that, that they're going through this too, while you were, advising them. And I just sent an email too to get the, so that way I could put like the schedule, like the planner. And I think that will help me too. But, I just need some advice on, if you think I'll be able, if I basically study, because, I work full time, and then my daughter is 5, and, in kindergarten, she's already getting like homework too. Right. And, I'm just trying, see if with your advice, I will be able to succeed on this.
Okay, so you're trying to find time to work to fit it all in?
Right.
And plus, you probably have busy season on the horizon.
I'm sorry?
And plus, you probably have tax season coming up, right?
Well, actually, I don't. I work on the litigation group. Like, sometimes we're busy and sometimes we're not. But okay. When we're busy, I have to really work. So.
Okay. Do you have my free study planner?
Yeah, I requested it. I just requested it online, so I should be getting the link to download it.
Okay. That's the number one thing you can is just to really, people have to budget their money. Most people don't budget their time, and so this will allow you to budget your time. And the thing is, when you budget your money, I'm a Dave Ramsey fan. I don't know if you listen to Dave Ramsey or not. If you budget your money, it feels like you got a raise because you actually have more money, to spend on stuff that you really like. When you're intentional about it, when you're intentional with your time, you can say, okay, I'm going to study these 4 hours, but for the rest of this time, I'm going to be spending it with my daughter, et cetera, et cetera. And it'll help you to be more disciplined. So, number one, I would do that. Now, you're taking auditing right now?
Well, I'm trying to see if there's a way I could, I haven't scheduled the exam yet because with the other two, that was something else that it was pressured by the time that I scheduled. So I haven't scheduled it yet. I just want to, make sure that I'm prepared before I do it.
Well, I think you need to schedule your exam. That way you have a target.
Okay.
I've said this before. It's kind of like running a marathon. I'm not a marathon runner. I'm not a runner at all. I had asthma growing up, and I hate running. But if I were going to run a marathon, unless I set a date and paid my money, there would never be a good time to start training for it.
Okay.
And so you need something. So let's say you schedule it for November 14th or something. Well, then you know that you have X amount of hours or X amount of days to fit in all of your study hours, and then you have a plan. But if you don't, November's going to roll around, and you think, oh, well, I don't have enough time. Thanksgiving's coming up. Then we have Christmas. Okay, I'm not going to take it till mid-January. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
Right.
So I would schedule it. And so have you passed any other sections?
No.
Okay. And you're using Becker plus the 10-point combo?
Right. But the thing is, plus I have but that's the Wiley is expiring also in because it's good for a year, so it's expiring in January. And I have also, your audio and the ninja notes and I have your materials. I also have the flashcard.
Okay. Well, the Ninja Notes come with free updates until you pass. When you need a new test bank pin, email me, and I will try to get you as close to my cost on that as I can if you need a new pin, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's what I'll do. I mean, when I get closer to, because as far as I think it's January 14th, so I'll email you and see, what the cost is to extend it. So then to your suggestion, I will. How many hours per week at least do you think I should try to? I know I have to budget my time, but at least how many?
20 hours.
Hours per. I'm sorry, how much? 40?
20.
Oh, 20.
Yep.
20 hours. So,
and if you get the study planner, you'll see I have the L plan. It's early, lunch, late. So you study early, you study at lunch, and you study late. So if you can study for an hour in the morning, study for 30 minutes at lunch, study an hour before you go home. Of course, that might not work for you and babysitters and all that. But anyway, you can map it out. Make sure you take one night a week off or 1 weeknight off. So, I don't know, maybe it's Friday night for you and your daughter or whatever. And then you can fit in 3 hours on a Saturday morning and 3 hours on a Sunday afternoon if you need to. And you get pretty close to 20 hours doing that without disrupting your schedule too much.
Right. And that's counting the hours that I watch the videos or just doing multiple choice?
Yeah, it's everything.
Oh, it's everything. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so at least I can go ahead and map it. Thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate your advice.
My pleasure.
I think that at least will get me started, once I have the planner and I could plan it and, and go from there. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you for calling in, Annie.
Thank you.
Sure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Area code 214, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Hi.
Hello?
Yeah, hello. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Gladys.
Hi, Gladys.
Hi. Yeah, I was listening into what you were telling her, and it's a lot of my same issues that I'm having. I'm going to be taking the FAR on October 12th.
Okay.
And I guess I've been studying. I've been putting in a lot of time. I just feel like I am not really getting, I'm not moving ahead. It takes me forever to study one topic or do one testlet, and so it's kind of frustrating. So I don't know.
Okay, so you're taking FAR on October 12th?
Yes.
Okay. And how far along are you in your materials?
Right now, I'm in FAR 5 is when I'm actually working on the problems. I've attended almost all the lectures. I just haven't finished. I'm taking the Becker review, so I'm just working on the 8 and 9 this week for the lectures. But as far as homework is concerned, I'm like on 5.
Okay, so you're about halfway there.
Yeah.
And have you taken FAR before?
No, I haven't. No, this is my first CPA section.
Oh, it is? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of wondering what to really, you have no idea what to expect.
No, I'm expecting the worst.
Well, you know what? People who really prepare and work really hard, oftentimes they pass. And so if that's you, excuse me, I would be confident. Talking so long, my voice is messing up here. The key, one place where a lot of people fall short is multiple choice questions. They don't do as many multiple choice questions as they should. Do you feel like that you're, are you watching your videos and then doing multiple choice questions?
Yeah, and I'm actually attending the in-class lecture, so we're doing a lot of problems in class, but I'm having to watch the videos outside of class and then come back and do the homework.
Okay.
So, I feel like the lectures are taking too much of my time.
Yeah, if you're going to the in-house lectures, then you feel like you have to rewatch those lectures, I would skip the in-house lectures.
So you know what's crazy is because they told us when I signed up for the class lectures, I thought we were going to do the lectures and I have time to do the problems at home. But she doesn't want us to do. She's not lecturing in the class, so I'm finding my study time is spent watching the videos and some homework, and then I'm in class doing some homework, and then I guess that's how I fell behind. Because I have to pre-watch the lectures before the class.
If she's not lecturing, what is she doing?
She's doing problems. So she comes with handouts and problems. And so I don't know. I'm thinking this is not really cool for me because I'm having to watch lectures before I come to class and then do some problems in class and then don't have time to, do more problems.
So you have to get in your car, drive, park, walk to the building, sit down, work questions when you could have just been sitting at home doing that yourself.
Exactly. That's what I feel like right now. I'm like, okay, I'm spending way too much time. But I feel like I don't even want to miss the material at the same time because I've been out of school for 10 years. So I'm trying. I'm so confused.
Well, yeah. I mean, it sounds like you agree with me that it's kind of an inefficient use of time.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would just stick to your videos and stick to your questions. And if you need more questions, I sell more questions, but I would stop doing the in-class stuff if it's they're just doing handouts and questions and stuff. That's not a good use of your time.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, essentially, I would just keep doing. I mean, you're halfway through, so I would not. I mean, I recommend kind of studying a little bit different. but you're halfway through. I would just keep doing what you're doing, and hopefully that works for you. And then if it doesn't, then you'll know. But I would keep doing what you're doing. I would. Do you have my free study planner?
I tried to download it. I tried to do it on my phone, so I wasn't sure whether it's a phone or I need to do it online.
Yeah,
I didn't get it. No.
Okay, try doing it online. But yeah, get that study planner, and it also comes with some free notes and stuff. But I'd get that, and then after that first exam, you'll know what you need to tweak, or if anything at all.
Yeah. So one question I have is, I know that it needs a lot of material. Do I really need to know every single thing?
No. No, you don't have to know every single thing.
So, I'm trying to figure out, where should I, spend most of my time where I can get that 75? What of everything should I know?
Well, for instance, I walked into my exam without studying not-for-profit accounting. Just because I ran out of time. That's not recommended. That was dumb. I got lucky. I had studied hard in the other areas in order to afford, But, I mean, you know what your bread and butter stuff is going to be. Inventory, bonds, government accounting, not-for-profit accounting. Government accounting, not-for-profit accounting is 20% of your exam.
That's what I just did.
And then, just, your basic accounting concepts. You're going to have to know IFRS and, the differences between GAAP and IFRS. And so really, there's not really any section that you could punt, even though I did. But you have to you have to at least know what they teach you in your lectures. But the biggest amount of your learning is going to come from working the multiple choice questions.
Okay.
And because it's one thing to learn a concept, it's another thing to learn how to apply that concept in an exam scenario or situation.
Yeah.
So
okay.
After your October 12th exam, why don't you email me and let me know how it went, okay?
Okay, I will. All right, thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you, Gladys.
All right. Bye.
All right, area code 215.
Hi, my name is Raji.
Hi, Raji. How do you spell that?
R-A-G-I.
Got it. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm getting tired.
I know. I am taking my first exam in October the 26th. I scheduled for October 26th, but I'm thinking to reschedule it and it's far and it's my very first time.
Okay.
And I recently graduated in May, and then I thought, I couldn't really get the job that I was looking for, so I thought, since I have 150 credits, so I plan to take an exam. Initially I bought Basic Education, Basic Review, and I have been studying Basic, and I finished all 20 chapters, but it seems like I did okay on multiple choices. I didn't do any simulation yet, but it seems like once I read it, it's fine. It's good for another 2 hours, I guess. And next day, I try to do all multiple choice without doing anything, without checking anything or nothing, and my score gets down. It gets down horribly. I can't even do 50%. So I was confused, just like the lady before me, what to do. Should I extend it or And what I did is I bought last week. I bought Wiley Test Bank. Compared to Basic Education, the Wiley seems like I am understanding more questions. I'm understanding more in depth than the Basic Review.
Okay, so So you went through all 20 chapters of BISC, and then...
Yes, I did. I have been studying for like since August 1st.
Okay. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, that's a long time. I went through all the chapters, all the lectures, and all multiple choice. I haven't done any simulation yet.
Okay, when you were watching, or when you were going through the 20 chapters of BISC, were you taking notes?
Yes, I am.
Okay, good. You know, okay, so it's normal to not do so hot on multiple choice questions the first time that you do them. So, like if you work 20 questions over bonds, you know, you might score 50%. Then the second time you might do 60, and then the third time you might do 70 to 80%. So
yeah, but it seems like when I do like over and over and over again, it seems like I'm memorizing the answers, and that's how I am doing it like better. And like if I'm taking over and over and over again, because it's the same question coming up and multiple choice in basic education for the practice.
okay, so you're starting to memorize the answers?
No, like, yeah, I don't want to do that, like, because I know that it's not going to be the same question on the exam, and I don't want to get confused down there. So now I'm thinking to buy Ninja Notes. And let's see, like, how Ninja Notes can work out. Is it a good idea, or, like, I should just stick with BISC and Wiley?
Well, of course, I'm very biased. Because I think it would be an excellent idea if we do. You know, you can always.
I asked like, okay, go ahead.
You can always go to another 71 and click on study plan, and you'll and you will get.
Is it like your study plan?
Yes.
Jeff's, right?
Yeah.
How do on what website do I get it? It's another71.com. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, somebody told me about this, but like I try to go online and do something, and that's how I'm getting emails from you now. So today I got the email around like 2:30 when I checked the email. So I thought, you know what, let me call this number and check it out. But I never attended this kind of session before.
Oh, okay, well it's lots of fun.
I just want to get over with FAR. I can't take this FAR book anymore next to me.
Okay, all right. Let's back up. You've been through all of the BISC lectures, and you took notes.
Yes, I do.
You need to go back and, or at least consider doing this. You need to consider rewriting those notes. Because you will reabsorb the material, and it'll mean more to you, versus just writing it down once. And so you're in the multiple choice phase right now. You know, maybe you don't take your exam on October 26th. Maybe you take your exam on October 2nd or something like that.
Really?
Well, I mean, can you imagine yourself doing multiple choice questions for the next 5 weeks?
I mean, I have 2 kids and whole household responsibility. I have full-time job, so I am thinking I want to be able to manage it like the way like all singles and other people manage it. That's what I keep thinking, and then the thought I'm keep thinking that I won't be able to manage it, and I'm gonna have to study hard on these things. And whenever I try to like, I study every single day. I don't take any days off or nothing. Every night I study until like 12 o'clock or 12:30. I start studying at 8 o'clock.
Okay, I mean, what's going to happen is you are going to be getting diminishing returns. So for regulation, I usually recommend 6 to 7 weeks at 20 hours a week.
Okay.
And so
regulation 6 to 7. Okay.
And so you've been studying since August 1st. So August, September.
And how many for FAR? How many weeks for FAR?
Of course, everyone's different, and so this is just an arbitrary number, but maybe 8 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, that's what BISC has, kind of 8 weeks, yeah.
But
and how about auditing?
7 weeks.
Okay.
6 to 7
and
weeks.
And weeks means like 20 hours, right?
Yeah, and of course, everyone's different, but, you know, I honestly think that you spread this too far out, and there will come a point where you've like, where you've peaked study wise. And you should be in there taking the exam, not doing more 8 to midnight study sessions.
Yeah, right. But like, I just don't get too much time. That's what I think, and
well,
I keep thinking so many things. That's why I guess
you're putting in the time. You know,
I'm sorry.
Well, you're already putting in the time. You're putting in more than 20 hours a week.
Yes, I do. It's more than 20 hours a week. Yeah.
Well, what other exams have you taken?
Just one, FAR. Just one. I just want to get, because whatever the reviews that I read, most of the reviews say like FAR is the hardest one.
Well, it is. Is this your first time taking FAR?
First time taking FAR, yeah.
Okay.
And first section.
So, honestly, I would reschedule your exam to an earlier part of October.
Really? But I haven't done any simulation yet. Is it going to be all right?
Well,
7 simulations.
Simulations are an extension of what you know with the multiple choice questions. So you understand conceptually what's going on with the multiple choice questions, and then you just answer them in a different way on a simulation.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, yeah, go ahead. Sorry about that.
Well, no, I mean, so yeah, you should be familiar with the simulations. You know how to do the research component on like the AICPA website. There's a free tutorial, and maybe you do some FAR simulations, a few of them to practice, but you don't want to spend like 2 weeks doing simulations or something like that.
Only simulations, yeah. No. Because the material that I bought on Wiley, they got like 66 simulations on their package for CPA Wiley test bank.
Yeah, so maybe do 5.
5? Just 5?
Well, I mean, ultimately, Raji, do whatever you're comfortable with. But
I'm sorry?
Ultimately, do whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
But there is a significant short-term memory component to studying for this exam, and so the longer you spread it out, so it's like if you have it all crammed in your head, but then you don't take the exam, you lose that momentum, and I don't know. So
I guess
it's something that I would consider doing. I would consider studying for the next 3 weeks and then going and taking your exam.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would do that. I'm just gonna go through Wiley CPA test bank. I haven't done because they said like about 1,400 multiple choices in there. I am up to like 300 now. So should I go through all 1,400 multiple choices or not?
Yes.
I should, right?
Yes.
Okay. But I shouldn't spend like that much time on it because I already done multiple choices in BISC education, BISC reviews. So I think I would spend more time on I think I would do the same time for simulations and multiple choice, finish everything and take exam.
That's what I would do.
Yeah, the rates are like really low, like for first, not the first time, it's like 30% for like first time test takers. I mean, first child who passes the exam, so that makes me nervous too. Like where I'm gonna stand.
You know what? I think according to the NASBA report, I think it's closer to 40%, 40-45%.
For the first time.
Yeah.
First time, all 4 parts.
I believe so.
Okay, I don't know. I have read even about like 30%. So in the report on AICP and the NASBA website, it says like 45 to 47% for like FAR.
Well, yeah, that's
for every quarter. For every quarter.
Yeah.
Is it right?
Well, yeah. So like, with every
100.
With every exam, about half of the people will walk in and pass it.
Yeah.
But I had someone tell me that the NASBA report said that like 40% of the people who take the exam the first time pass it, which seemed really high to me. But anyway, I should probably go look at that statistic. It used to be closer to like...
Yeah, I just want to be in that 40% and that's it. I am so tired of studying this FAR. It's like the book is like probably like more than 2,000 pages, and I am not reading the book. I said if I'm doing the lectures, I won't be able, because I don't have time to read that like 2,500 pages for the book.
Right. I would. You know what? You will know a lot about where you stand after your first exam.
Okay, I got you.
I mean.
Yeah, I just want to get it done. That's why, like, I just don't want to sit again. That is my problem.
Well, you can't control that. I mean.
I got you. I understand. Yeah.
So is that helpful?
Yeah, this is helpful, because the reason I got more confused is like I had a classmate in university, and they were like, I know that they were like much more smarter than me. They took FAR 2 months ago, or like 3 months ago, and they failed it.
And they what?
They failed. They couldn't pass it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know that I am definitely lower average than those people. I know them. So the way they know the material, so I was like, where am I going to send if they fail the exam?
Well, okay, hold on. Don't let yourself fall into that mental mind trap, because
I know.
Because very smart people who
probably they didn't study enough. You know.
Exactly. Very smart people who get 4.0s and think that they can just go in and just take the exam. They fail. You have your B and C students who are like, you know what?
Yes, that's where I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not complete A student in accounting.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's a matter of how hard you want to work, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So. Well,
I think I will schedule it in like next 3 weeks. If I'm gonna keep studying like this, then I'm gonna schedule it in like next 3 weeks and get it done.
Okay.
And another thing I wanted to ask you is your study plan, the like Jeff's study plan. It's gonna be on the same website and the another71.com.
Yep, it's all on Another 71.
Okay, and if I have to Google it, what should I Google? Like Jeff's study planner for CPA exam?
Just go to another71.com.
Okay.
And you'll see study plan.
Okay, study plan. Okay. All right.
And then just click it and you'll get it.
Yep, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah, study plan. Okay.
Well, nice.
All right. And I want to buy. Yeah, and another thing, I want to buy the Ninja notes.
Yep.
I just want to go through the notes, like, and I can buy Ninja notes on another71.com, right?
Yep. That's the only place.
Okay.
It's the only place you're sold.
Do you mind to tell me how much it's gonna be for FAR?
The Ninja notes per section are $67.
67. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to buy that one. Is there any like little format? I mean, little description or couple things that like free available that I can look it up and then order it? Like just like I did for Wiley, they gave us for 24 hours free sample thingy, and then okay.
When you get your email for the study planner, you will also get free samples of the notes.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
And
okay.
And the audio.
Okay. All right. I think I'm gonna understand. Right. Thank you so much for this information, and thank you so much for talking to me.
Okay, thank you.
It's making me like more, it's giving me more courage than like I thought. Like, I won't be able to take in October 26th, but like, I'm now encouraged to take it earlier than 26, so that's really good. I'm going to keep studying, and let's see what happens. I'll let you know.
Okay, perfect. Nice talking with you, Raji.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Hey,
have a good day.
If you have any questions or need some help with your scheduling, just shoot me an email.
Yes, I will. Is it the same one, right? The one that I'm getting. I'm just going to reply on that one, the one I'm getting.
Yes, that'll work.
Okay. Thank you so much, and have a good night.
All right, well, that does it for this edition of CPA Reviewed. Thank you for listening. If you have a question or comment, you can always go to another71.com. Click in the upper right-hand corner, click Ask Jeff. And as always, I like seeing people on the forum, and so make sure that you're registered there. It's free. It takes like 2.3 seconds to register, give or take. And and make sure that you're on my Ninja mailing list. Go to another71.com, click Study Planner or Study Plan. You'll get all the free Ninja goodies, and you will be emailed the next time we fire up the Ninja hotline. In the meantime, be good, take care, and I will talk to you soon.